Okay, welcome to another episode of Geek Shop on Chatting. With me is Chris. And Chris, who do we have with us?
We have Patrick, Michael, and Paul.
Hello,
Greetings.
everyone.
Hello.
Okay, so Chris, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about Ken.
Kenneth Gallant,
Yes, our Wednesday warrior.
Wednesday Warrior, and all of us know him very well. To those who do not know, Ken just recently passed away.
But I figure we would, particularly with this group, I figure we could start off with like old school, like how you guys first met Ken. And I think a lot of your early creativeness sort of happened at the same time. And I think that's an interesting story. So
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think Mike, Paul, and myself, we kind of met Ken around the same time. What was it, 1992? I think 91, 92.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah,
It
both.
was at the OCA.
Yeah, Ontario College of Art. So yeah, that's where I remember meeting Ken first time. I didn't see him in school. No, I did see him in school, but I used to work at a comic shop down on Queen Street, and Ken used to come in there all the time. One time he came in, and he wanted to basically want us to carry his self-published self-published comic called Suicide. And that's when became friends, and that's when we made the connection. Hey, you go to art college, and that's how we became friends.
interesting. And how
That's
did the
cool.
sort of creative part of it come together? Like, how did you guys start actually making stuff together?
I think that's where Paul and Mike came into the picture because Paul and Mike were starting up a comic called Cool Box, and
Yeah.
Paul asked me, and I think Mike, I met Paul. I met Mike through Paul, I think, if I remember. And then I think when we were starting up when you guys started up Coolbox and start in the planning stages, that's when I recommended Ken to be on it because I knew, again, building up that friendship with Ken, kind of knew he was, he was a writer, artist, very creative. So suggested, hey, here's a guy. Let's, another person who'd be interested to be, interested being on the book.
What do you guys remember of that? Creating Cool Box.
Yes, I've actually got some copies here beside me on my shelf, but I don't quite remember it like that because Chatan was doing his thing first, I thought, as I recall.
No, we did you guys did Coolbox first, and I get TikTok Tom afterwards.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Oh,
My memory's
there's
All,
not
controversy.
my memory's not going like yours.
yeah, well,
I would have to say that my recollection, I mean, this is 35 years ago, so things are a little bit fuzzy.
what?
But I remember meeting Ken through Chtan. I remember being introduced to him as this is someone who is also into indie self-published work. Um, he was certainly doing it before myself and Mike were starting Coolbox. As a matter of fact, maybe Ken doing his own work and Chatan talking about his own work probably led Mike and I to the idea of doing something on our own. I think, I think Mike is probably right in my recollection that it
No,
was.
because I remember we did
Don't
the
argue with Chatan, Paul. Spirit always
That's your
wins.
that's the first
no,
mistake.
I remember we did Coolbox. Then when we did the Coolbox giveaway, that's when I did that one page for TikTok Tom. And that's when, and under Ken's influence, Ken recommended we should do more stories with that character.
Actually, yes, I forgot there was a
Yeah,
cool box giveaway.
yeah, and
And
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
yes.
there we go.
Look at
So
that.
in the giveaway, I did a one page TikTok Tom story, and Ken loved the character, and that's when Ken and I start talking like crazy about it, and that's when Ken said, "Hey, you should do a book on him."
Okay, so that actually starts ringing a bell. Mike,
See, I'm
this
right.
just
I'm
means
right. Come
that
on,
Chatan
come
is
on. You guys
following
need
on
to
our
admit I was
coattails.
right on this. I'm not old and cranky like
Even a
you guys.
broken clock twice a day and all that, Chatan. Don't brag.
Nice.
So Coolbox was and this is where who was it who was I talking to? Oh, Tom Yo. We were talking about this when I gave Tom Yo some of the copies of Coolbox, and he didn't know Ken could draw that much, and he goes, he's surprised Ken gave up drawing, and I go, in Coolbox, he did all his artwork.
Yeah, yeah.
He
I remember
loved
that.
to write.
Yes.
Yeah,
Ultimately, I think that was his passion.
yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, recently we were talking about that on a past episode of Geek Shop, and we went around and said, would you rather write or draw? And I would actually, even though I love drawing, I would actually rather write because I love telling the stories. And so, to some degree, it's like I'd like to get my millions of ideas out as opposed to, you know, when you have one idea, then you have to spend 6 months trying to get it out.
Yeah.
So I think Ken might have had the same thing where he had like a zillion ideas and just needed to get them out. So
So
I get it.
Patrick, when did you first meet Ken?
Well, I'm pretty sure I met him through you. Um, I can't remember exactly when, but I remember you guys because I wasn't at OCA. That was you guys who were there,
I'm
and
sure when we worked at the art store, I'm sure Ken probably joined us on our Patrick and I used to every Wednesday go to a comic shop, West
yeah, yeah.
and Allen, and I'm sure Ken joined us a lot of times.
Well, I remember you guys talking about like you're talking about now, all the stuff you guys did while you were at OCA, and I thought it was really neat how there was like that sort of creative nexus going on there, and it really spawned a lot of interesting ideas. And I mean, 30 years later, you're still doing TikTok Tom. That's pretty amazing. And Ken was still doing his stuff too, so. I thought it was a neat. You see these little sort of moments where like you can see like kind of creativity kind of just kind of blossoms, and I always thought that was really neat hearing about that time you guys worked together creating these comics.
And
Now
that was
Chatan wants nothing to do with me.
I'm creating a character based on you now.
Uh-oh.
Paul, you're helping me.
Well, yeah, sure, absolutely. The creative pot that Patrick is talking about, we can start another one. But I remember back then it was an interesting meeting point because Ken was more interested in writing, and he was, scaling back his drawing, but he still inked stuff. I remember
He
that he was
did.
still okay
Yes.
with
Right.
inking.
Yeah.
Um, and he was ready to do that, to sort of step back, and that gave, me an opportunity because I worked with Ken on a few projects where he would be the writer, and we would go back and forth about like sort of general broad strokes things, but when he got a sense of what I was after, he would just go away and then present me with something, and then I would do that, and that's why in the TikTok Tom Big Book, that was that story that I drew and Yan inked. Ken was the one who, approached me and said, I'd like to do something too. So we collaborated on that. So it was a nice mesh that he was interested in doing more writing. I, as an artist, was interested in writing for sure, but I kind of wanted to pass that off. And, as far as like a sort of an incubation at OCA, I think I'll just speak for myself. OCA was kind of like work at that time. You kind of went to work every day, and then you met with your buddies and you did creative fun stuff, in that world.
Yes.
Nice.
So, Chris, when
One,
did you meet Ken? Oh, sorry.
I was just going to
I think
say
I've done.
one thing that I do remember is the difference that if the same penciler did his panels, how much of a different flavor someone for instance, if Paul, you would ink your own stuff, and then let's say, I don't know whether actually it happened, but you mentioned Ken inked, but there would be always there was a different kind of accent on the artwork based on who was inking it,
Oh,
even if the
definitely.
pencil work was you know, the same under it.
Oh, I mean, we have, let's say Chris did a pencil work. If four of us ink it, you have four completely different final results.
Yeah.
And that was the nice thing about Ken when he did ink my work. He's a lot looser than I am when he approaches things. I don't mean loose in that he's not paying attention to detail, but he does kind of have an ease and a
Hmm.
flow to his
And he used
brush strokes that I didn't have.
Ken used brush a lot. So,
Yeah.
and he had he had a good skill on what do you call it? Good handling of using a brush, where the rest of us were like, nibs and markers.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to avoid calling you guys tight ass, but
So,
there,
Chris,
I said it.
when did you meet Ken?
I mean, I think I met Ken pretty early on when I was working at Curry's.
Yeah.
Um, I was really young when I worked at Curry's. I don't know if you guys know how young I actually was. I was still in high school when I was working at Curry's.
What? Really?
Yeah, yeah. It was my
Oh, I didn't know
last
that.
2 years of high school. I was at
Wow.
Curry's.
How many
So I
grades did you
remember when I
repeat,
got
though?
hired, they actually said we normally don't hire people. We normally don't hire people as young as you,
Yeah,
but
he
they're
was in
like,
his
we'll take a
20s when he was
chance.
in high school.
But yeah,
Grade
so it was.
15.
Yeah.
I think I was actually, what was I? I was probably about 16 or 17 years
Oh,
old
wow.
Wow.
when I
Wow.
started at Curry's. So it was like, it was so a lot of you guys intimidated the hell out of me, just because
And
I was like, I
Patrick,
want to go to art school, and you guys were like, I already done it. I'm like, no, like, and I knew about TikTok Tom actually before I worked there. So just because
Oh,
I'm
wow.
I
sorry
had
to
done a
hear
few,
that.
I had produced a few of my own zines as well back in the day, and so I'd be always combing through the zine pile, and there'd always be a few TikTok Toms sitting there. So I was familiar. I think I might even owned
I'm
a couple
sure
of
more than a few.
them.
So Patrick mentioned something going, what was that thing about you asking about Ken working at Curry's? Um,
Well, yeah, eventually he did work at Curry's
he
with
did.
us.
Yeah, Ken was long
He
story,
was
but
jealous.
yeah, he was no, Ken was out of work and he was looking for something. So I asked the Curry's manager at that time, saying, I have a friend who's looking for work, and Ken worked there for what, a year or so?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Um, for those in the podcast world who don't know, Curry's is an art store in Toronto, or was. I guess it's not there anymore.
Yeah, it
I think there's
was
still one of them, but
somewhere. Yeah. So Patrick,
Tan, is it true?
sorry,
Is it true
what?
that
What?
there's only one Curry left in
I
Toronto?
think a lot of them closed down. Yeah. So Patrick, ask Paul that question you were asking me yesterday.
Uh, what's your dream date? I don't know. I can't remember the question.
No, the Walrus
It's
Boy
happening
one.
right now, Patrick.
Walrus
This is
Boy?
it.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, no, so there was this again, this happened before my time, but there was this character, Walrus Boy, associated with Ken, and I was curious. I was asking Jatan last night how this character came about, uh, and so
Honestly, Um, I, my recollection is that it was, I think, lunchtime, and we were at the Grange food court, and
Eating beef patties, right?
oh, the
probably
Grange
beef
food
patties
court.
or, fish and chips, halibut, just for the
Must
halibut.
have been middle of winter. Paul only wore like a skin tight leather jacket.
Yes.
Yes, I had to be indoors. And I remember Ken came up, and I don't know what he was talking about, but we started riffing, like making fun of whatever he was doing a little bit, and it kind of veered into a slimy guy, and then we started calling him Walrus Boy.
All hail Hypnotoad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you wrote
I
the
don't
bio,
I don't actually know. Like Ken embraced it at one point, at some
I
point.
feel
The
like he
whole
did, yeah.
and
Yeah.
you wrote the biography on him, calling him Walrus Boy. Remember?
Yeah, I do remember that, but that I it if it probably stemmed from that
That's what
lunchtime
yes, I forgot about
where we
the
were just
grain
joking
queue.
about something completely different.
Yes. And as I was saying to Patrick, the thing was, bottom line was, Ken embraced all of it, liked it, but bottom line was he had no choice.
That is true. Yeah, we were gonna do it anyway. That's true.
Yeah. And he always had a good heart about it. He never complained about, we picked on him so much.
Yeah, he'd usually just roll his eyes and kind of say, "Okay."
So mentioning
Actually,
that, I'm really disappointed with the mini comic and all that stuff. We never got anyone interested in Win a Date with Ken.
They were intimidated, Chatan. I mean,
Yes.
if you put someone like that up, oh man, you're not
So just
worthy.
to let the people know, in the mini comic, Paul and I came up with an ad where there was a Win a Date with Ken Gallant.
Yeah.
was it just one issue or
Oh,
was
we
it an
did it
ongoing thing?
twice, right?
Yeah, we did it twice. The first one was it was I took a photo of Elvis Presley
Yes.
with his mic, one of those old school 50s, 60s mics, and took out Elvis Presley and put Ken in a photo. And that was the first ad we did. And
Paul, did you need to strip film?
no, it was we still had computers, but there was a lot of, kind of hand work
The
that had to be
French
done.
cut.
Yeah. And then the second one we did when we could do it all on computer. That was quite a bit afterwards. But again, it speaks to Ken's good humor.
Yeah.
Um, he never got like sort of proud and offended at just having some fun with himself. Like
You hear
that,
that,
Yeah.
Chatan? Lighten up.
yeah, you
So
tight ass.
I was telling Patrick and Tom that story you wrote for the origin of Walrus Boy, and
Oh yeah,
I remember we directly asked Ken for photographs of him, and he said I might as well give it to you because you guys are going to do something worse than that.
and it'll
And
be
that was
worse.
eons before the internet really took
Yes,
off.
yes.
hmm
So
It's
Don't
Ken,
make
funny
us
because
go to the library and get your yearbook.
Ken voluntarily gave us photos of him as younger when he was younger days and stuff like that. And we used them in the book, and
Yeah.
Ken was a good Ken Ken never argued, never complained. He just laughed with us. He had fun with it.
He was a good walrus.
Yes. Then even when I years later when Tom and I were doing the TikTok Tom stuff, we were talking about Walrus Boy because Tom and I always put Walrus Boy in the background, like in the comics or not
Cameo.
Walrus Boy comics in the background. So one day we were sitting around and I said let's do a Walrus Boy comic, and of course Ken said I'll write it.
Yeah.
So
he wanted to protect himself.
Yeah.
yeah.
He wanted creator rights.
Yeah.
It's
And
funny because there's a Walrus Boy poster in the intro to this
yes,
podcast.
there is. Yes, there is on
That's right. Yeah.
on the wall. Yes.
So it's funny because Walrus Boy sort of actually turned into a comic book that's in the TikTok Tom universe.
Yes.
So even if the comic does or doesn't exist, it sort of, anytime that there's somebody who's if there's a mention of a comic book writer, he's writing an issue of Walrus
Well,
Boy.
Ken and I wanted to continue doing Walrus Boy. The problem was life came in the way, so we just kind of put it aside.
Is Walrus Boy still available?
What, the comic?
Yeah.
It's online. It's on the TikTok Tom
Okay.
website.
All right.
Yeah,
Free to download.
Nice.
free to download. Yes, only today for 2 hours. Yeah.
So, because I don't remember those details at this point, did Walrus Boy have a music T-shirt on? I know KMFDM was a big theme, and so on. So I'm trying to remember. Did Walrus Boy have a particular theme or music bent, as it
I
were?
have to look at it. I don't know what Ken
I
wrote.
thought it just said Walrus Boy.
Did it?
I don't remember.
Ooh, now you got me thinking, Mike. I have to look back at all
Don't
that.
do that.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll go and put an image on Chris afterwards, editing.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll pop an image on and we'll all see how wrong we were.
it's it's interesting that you bring up the music t-shirts because that's something I associate with, especially early TikTok Tom. Everybody's got a music t-shirt. Uh, well, Ken was really into heavy metal, right?
Heavy metal,
He's
yeah.
really, yeah. So there's a lot of music associated with, I think that was a lot at the time. Like we were all into like music and indie comics and
Yes.
kind of DIY stuff.
So let's
Yeah.
Now
talk.
we're all old and corporate and
Let's
serving the
Five
talk
more
man.
about
stars.
Ken's comic. Paul, you did a cover for it. I did a cover for it for his book Suicide.
Yeah, I actually at the time when he asked me to do it, I didn't know a lot about the book that he was putting out. I remember when he gave it to me, he gave me a couple of samples, and it in tone it seemed the comic books that we're doing, Cool Bucks and TikTok Tom and all that, were, I don't want to use the word jokey, but they were
Mm,
lighter in tone. And I remember that the Suicide book, I mean, even the name, right? Like,
mm.
was it was kind of intense a little bit. And it had some kind of like themes on the dark side.
I think he
And
wanted to go more like a horror, kind of like a horror adult theme type of a book.
yeah, I think he wanted the tone to be more adult and more serious. Not in a pretentious kind of way. I just
Yeah,
think that that's what he was
Yes.
interested in. And you could see it in the music he liked. The music he liked was more intense, more serious and more thoughtful, perhaps. And as far as like the music connection goes, like we all did it where we take the lyrics of a song and we'd use
mm,
that as a basis for, a story, or just take the lyrics and put it in the book as kind of like a shortcut to what we're talking about. And Ken did that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
cool. Well, isn't every of the recent volumes of TikTok Tom, it's based, the title is based on
Yeah.
a song.
Yeah.
Almost all of them.
Is that does that go back to even like the 90s?
Yeah, some of it does. Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely remember a lot of quotes at the beginning of TikTok Tom stories that would, I'd be reading, it would be song lyrics or something related to it or something related to music. I used to actually think it was like, to me, TikTok Tom always was sort of a music, there was something musical about it. There was sort of music of the time. It was so connected to that at the time. And I'm sure, and you guys were talking about sort of the melting pot of styles, how you could do it, how like you have one person inking and one person penciling, one person writing, and you get something different. But even the storylines, the stories that were written had that feel. I mean, that's the beauty of that comic and Cool Box as well. Like I've actually read a few Cool Boxes in my time, and there's this sort of thing that you guys did when you were back in school, where you managed to kind of get like again a melting pot and make it work. Like there's so many times like I look at my comic book now and I'm like it couldn't work as a melting pot. Like it's my story, it's my thing. But
Ours
you guys
didn't
really like
either.
No, I
yeah
think
One
it's like Mike was the editor of Cool Box, so he had a lot of creative control. He would never limit people in terms of what they
Iron
wanted to do.
Fist.
But the approach was, and I think it was the same for TikTok Tom, when you went in to do work for Coolbox or TikTok Tom, you went in knowing that this was not one set story, not one set character, not one way of approaching the way the characters look or what the story tones should be. It was, you went in knowing it was a collaboration. So,
Hmm.
so Chris, when you say that we somehow managed to do that, I think a lot of it goes to the creators knowing that they had the freedom to do whatever they want, and within that confine, it
But
all works
did
together.
you find it when Ken did his suicide book? I remember Ken asking me to do a couple of stories and you know gain a mindset away from what we did in Cool Box and TikTok Tom. when he did Suicide, when you look at the content he had before and, talking to Ken, what ideas he had when he before he started Suicide, it's like your mindset's different. Now you have to do more of a, not say a serious story, but more of a horror story.
I was a little intimidated when he would ask me if I wanted to
Yeah,
do something because I didn't know if I could do it.
that same here, because your mindset's going in a different direction now.
Yeah, I was just goofy and Ken was the adult in the room.
It's funny because he kind of had that attitude about him. Like I remember first meeting him, and he kind of like again, I was a young kid, and he intimidated the hell out of me. And I sort of like this guy's like 10 times
Yeah.
more serious and sort of, and but
Ken was
then
the
once you get to know him and you're like, oh, so he's the walrus boy, and it's like it just
Yeah.
it shatters
The
everything. You know what I
facade
mean?
melted away.
But I think that's why this worked, because you see Ken's personality. Ken was like the serious guy out of all of us.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and he
as far as I,
wasn't sorry, he wasn't afraid, like I'm just speaking about my experience working with him. He wasn't afraid for a story to take kind of a dark turn. And
Yeah.
I
Mm.
think it wasn't for its own sake. I think he was genuinely interested in how the reader would react to that. Like he was curious about the reader. So I remember when we were doing the big book and we were talking about TikTok Tom had a sister in that book, which we never explored it. No one ever explored that anywhere else. And I remember Ken like she was damaged in
Mm.
some way, and TikTok Tom felt as her brother a responsibility to save her. So it those were themes that before Ken kind of got involved, no one ever would even think about exploring that.
But I'm sure when we were like sitting around at the coffee shop or whatever big fatty place or whatever, you, myself, Mike, Ken, we're talking away, and Kent's like going, these guys are idiots, because
He was filing things away.
our ideas are way out there, compared to him. We're talking about Walrus Boy, and he's talking about demented people, and things like that.
Yeah, it's true.
And
But I
even
mean,
right
that's
in
what
front
made
of
what he did
Chatan, and Chatan
interesting.
didn't mind.
Yes.
So, guys, if I could broach a subject here, I don't know if you guys want to edit it out or not, but Ken's departure has brought up some regret in my life because, as far as my own personal mental health goes, in the last 5 years or so, have made big changes for the positive. And I know I mistreated my friends and collaborators, and I want to make amends to all of you who I have treated in an unkind or gruff or um, inappropriate manner. And I know it's happened, and I just want to make amends for that before it's too late. So thank you.
Yeah, no, I honestly thank you. And you know what? I said to Patrick yesterday when I was driving them home, saying, you know what, Ken's death has brought up, let's not be strangers. Honestly, it's we life comes in the way. Life comes in the way. Family stuff comes in the way. But you know what? Let's not be strangers.
Yeah, thank you, Mike, and thank you for Chan for sharing your feelings. Yeah, I thought the same thing. It's us being around the same age. Like I can't speak for everyone, but Ken and I were about 55, and it's weird, so strange to me that at that age, I suppose we start worrying about those things, and we do think about things that Mike said about like how we've treated people in the past, and you know, I always consider myself good friends with Ken, the kind of friend I could, you know, maybe not speak to for a year, and then I do speak to him, and everything's pretty fine, and you know, we pick up from where we left off. But you know, it makes me wonder, like it would have been nice to know him more frequently um,
See, for
in the
me,
last few years.
I haven't talked to, I mean, I talk to Ken on a regular basis, but I haven't seen him in what, 9 months or so.
Hmm.
And we used to meet almost at least once or twice a month,
Yeah,
you know, and, my personal stuff going on. So, Ken for last, and this is where it hurts me a lot is about month, 2 months ago, Ken goes, let's meet. And I kept saying, let's do it later because, just holding off. And now I can't do anything about it.
yeah,
And Ken wanted to meet. And I just said, you know what, let's leave it for later. Let's leave it for later.
Yeah.
And when I found out about his death, oh, it hit me hard, honestly. Yeah, just like, you know what? 5 a.m. in the morning, his wife texts me saying Ken passed away. And I'm like, I didn't believe it because I'm like, you know what? I want to, didn't believe it until I talked to his brother on the phone. And that's when he told me the whole story. And I'm like, wow.
yeah,
And Chris and I just recorded an episode of Ken the previous Saturday.
yeah. It was shocking.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like, honestly, it was a huge shock. I mean, it's just, you don't expect that. I mean, all of us at our age. I mean, I think Ken was 3, 4 years older than all of us. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but still, I mean, young. I mean, it's not, at our age, you know what? Anything could have happened, now, again, until I talk to his wife and his brother, two brothers, I'll find out more details on what happened to Ken.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to remember Scott Harder,
yeah.
another
Yes, another,
collaborator
yes, who
that
died
Jatan is
very,
extorting the panels that he worked with on me for one
what,
of the
what,
issues.
what panels?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Scott Harder was a very talented artist that we went to college with, and he died in his mid 20s, right?
It
Oh
was
my.
young.
Yes. He was engaged to be married,
Yes,
I
that's it.
believe in the new year, and he whenever we would imbibe of the holy herb, he would he would say with a smile on his face and a spliff in his hand, I really shouldn't be doing this because I have a heart condition. And I found out by someone on Queen Street, after the fact that his fiance found him at home in a chair, um, and that was it. And that was just before they were to be married over the holidays. So that not that it ever is easy, but certainly young love with a big future ahead
Yeah,
of them, and yeah, that really smacked me in the chops as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's it. Yeah, I mean, still now, I mean, it's been a week now, and still, can't think, can't believe he's gone.
Well, another person that I'm thinking of while we're paying tribute to past creators and collaborators is, of course, Alan Hagen, who died a few
Mm.
years ago.
Yeah, Mike doesn't.
Um,
Did you ever meet
No,
Alan? No.
no.
well, I
Okay.
don't know if he ever worked on TikTok Tom,
No,
did he?
he did one story in the mini comic.
Oh, okay, he
Yeah.
did. Okay.
Trust me, Mike, if you met Alan, you'd remember him.
Well, I know his name, but I don't remember his face.
No,
And
no,
usually,
trust me. Alan's one of those guys who leaves an impression on you, right, Patrick?
Yep, that's for sure.
You'll never
Very,
forget Alan.
very strong personality.
Yeah,
Very, very passionate
and
about comics.
And like I mentioned to the Ken and Scott Harder, Alan was a very talented person who died very young.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I had a glass of beer, I would cheers all of them right now, but I don't. It's a little too early in the
Perhaps
morning
those
for
in
that.
another time zone could do that on our behalf. I'm still on the coffee this morning.
Yeah, me too. There we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Virtual cheers.
But the one
No, but
thing, Mike, I'll tell you about the sort of regrets and things like that, because I move around the world, I disconnect from people, and then the thing you can tell that you did okay is because I'm seeing you communicate with Paul and Chatan, and it's like you guys are back having patties at the Grange again. You're like goofing around and chatting, and there's something
Halibut,
really like,
genuine.
there's something you can tell you're real friends. Like I can tell it when I go on post and then I come back home and it's like some people have gone off to do their own life and we don't really connect. Like we might see each other, but it's not really the same. But I can tell just by the way you guys are just instantly getting into the thing and sort of talking smack about each other and all that, that it's
Well, that's actually the glue that keeps us together,
that's
right?
it. Yes, yes. No, but I mean, all of
It's
us,
true.
all of us have, all of us have, I mean, I'm not going to say it in a bad way, but all of us have lives. All of us have family,
Speak for
kids.
yourself.
Yes. And, so, life comes in the way. And now, personally with me now, and I was telling this to Ken a while back, going, now my kids are older. They don't want to be around me anymore. So, so now I have time to do.
Join the club and enjoy it, Paul, because that's going to happen very
Yep.
soon.
It's already starting to happen.
Yeah. So, now I have time to do, technically my own things now.
Yeah.
Well, there's a rumor that Chatan was bathed on the banks of the River Ganges as in the incarnation of a hypnotic toad.
Not a walrus?
no.
No, a toad.
Toad. Okay. So that's the new comic now?
Well, I don't know.
It's going to be now that you grinned.
The
I thought
toad and
this
the
was
walrus boy and the toad.
I thought this was
Mike is
maybe
referring to a conversation that Mike and I had, where your name came up and it just spiraled into that. And I'm sorry, but to Chris's point, we're good friends. We're talking the smack.
yeah.
And
And the
it is
funny
the glue or the slime that keeps us together,
Yes.
rather.
and you know what the funny part was? Like even talking about Ken, we talked smack in front of everyone, and and Ken was very good at it, and Paul and I and Mike personally picked on Ken way more than we should.
Well, you know what? One of the things when I thought back about Ken at the school and our collaborations and whatnot was that he didn't say much. He always had this kind of dark undercurrent, but boy, when he laughed, he would laugh
Oh,
with
he
us
would,
big
he
time,
would,
like,
yeah.
whether it was Walrus Boy or whatever it was, he was down for some belly laughs, and it was a lot of fun.
And one thing with Ken was, no matter, hey Ken, let's go, let's meet here, let's go here. Never said no. Never said no.
Yeah. I mean, even when he started doing stuff for this podcast, we asked him we just simply said, hey, you buy more comics than us nowadays. Maybe you could just once in a while pull out some comic books and, sort of talk about them. And then he sends me a video of him wearing a wrestling mask, screaming into a microphone while reviewing comic books. I'm just like,
No, what happened on that one was after Chris and I talked to Ken about it, I said to Ken, I go, do a promo for the Wednesday Warrior podcast saying, coming soon. And I go, Ken, do it like old school wrestling interviews, where you're super hyped. And I didn't know he had a luchador mask.
Of course he did. What?
Yeah. Chris and I were just like shocked, going, wow, this makes it even 10 times better.
and then he
We
kept
learned
doing
how
it.
to,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. I was going to ask about the origin of the Wednesday Warrior mask.
This was inked by Ken. I'm not to interrupt, but
No,
Yes.
no. Nice.
just I mean I could go on and on, but
Was that from Coolbox?
yeah, that was the belly
Nice.
button issue, which my button
Yeah.
is still intact actually.
Same here in my book. It is. Yeah. Whatever glue you used, Mike, worked.
Yes, it was archival glue.
Yeah. And half went on the
Not
button
rubber
and half he
cement?
sniffed. Right, Mike?
That's right. I remember we did that Chromatech.
Yeah.
What was it, scraps that you got from Curry's Chitin, or
Yeah.
how did we
Something
do
that
that?
miscellaneous stuff that was lying around there.
Yeah, we just wanted to kind of stand out and
Well, we
be.
wanted to make sure no one photocopied our book.
That's true too.
Yeah. And Ken did the cover, the Gurney one, right?
Yeah.
Ken's cover.
I remember that cover.
Yeah.
It's very striking.
I mean, that's his early horror stuff that that came up.
It says on the side, when we spill our blood, we expect God to clean up the mess. For $2, what a bargain.
That's totally goes back to what you guys were saying earlier about Ken and his darker, more serious side.
Mhm.
He wasn't afraid to explore the darkness.
Oh, Ken was heavily into horror stuff, but on the other hand, he was also into lighter stuff also. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that story.
Yeah. Well, he still liked to some degree like superhero comics and mainstream comics, right?
Oh, he would read me. He was a huge Captain America fan, Hulk fan. He was like Chris and I said. That's why we wanted him on Wednesday or do a Wednesday Warrior podcast, that so that he could highlight all the comics he buys. And
Apparently, he was a luchador as well.
yes, yes. Oh, we never. Maybe he was.
Oh my God. Spin-off comic.
Yes.
We don't know. We're gonna find video soon.
Oh.
But you have to have the walrus tusk sticking out of the mask.
Walrus Boy 2.0.
Yes. Yes.
The Luchador years.
Oh, that would be fun to
Uh-oh, the wheels are spinning.
Yes.
I'm always afraid.
No,
The
but
only way the
Ken,
train can derail is if it moves.
and this is what I was saying to some of the guys last night, where Ken was one of those guys that up until his passing, he was one of those guys that went every week to buy comics at the comic shop. He visited a comic shop every week, no matter what, rain, snow, shine, didn't matter. He went there. And if you looked at his Facebook page, it would show him going, "Hey, I'm going for my comics."
Yeah.
It's kind of like, ritual, weekly ritual.
Rich, yeah, he never stopped.
And I'm
He
sure
was
it was
also into
right
figures
after
and
the
stuff.
new releases.
Yeah, no, definitely have to. I mean, mind you, new releases come out, I think Wednesday or Thursday or whatever it is. But Ken would always go on a Saturday because, again, that's his day off. So he would go there but he always post, I went to the comic shop.
Yeah.
And where the rest of us stopped buying new comics a long time ago, Ken just, and this is Patrick and I were talking yesterday about where, like for example, Ken would buy Hulk. Only reason he bought it was because he liked the character. He didn't like the artist and the writer, but he bought it because of the character.
Come on, Chatan. The truth is that it was you. You were the Hulk in his life.
He's the Hulk in all our lives, though.
Busted.
We wouldn't like him when he's angry.
I was gonna say, was it just that he grunts and groans a lot, or is it because
No, but once Chris gets back, Chris is coming back late August, early September to Toronto. We should get together and have a drink in honor of Ken.
Sure.
Definitely.
sounds good?
Because just give him a good send off. Just our geeks and geeks.
Yeah,
for
sounds
sure.
good.
We'll take a walk down to whatever comic book shop is nearby too, and just flip through the back issues.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think
Oh,
some
definitely,
of us, it's been a while since we've done that.
definitely.
And I think if
Well,
Ken was there, Ken was listening to us, and the tribute to him was that we were going to go to a comic book shop and flip through some back issues. I think he would appreciate it.
I
Oh
think
yeah,
so too.
yeah.
Well, he
And
was
Ken was one of the
always,
guys.
no,
Sorry.
go ahead.
No, no, go for it. Go for it.
I was just gonna say he was very opinionated about his comics. Whether
Yes,
he
he
bought them or not, he was
he
very
was.
opinionated. And
Yeah.
usually they were pretty thoughtful opinions too. He wasn't just like, oh, this is
Yeah.
garbage. No, there's
Well,
And
there's so much out there that you really need to cut through the nonsense. And, it's
yeah,
in my estimation, that's, that's where you find your jam, you can't, you need to have an opinion. You need to
yeah,
form a like, uh, a fondness for certain, styles and styles of writing and artwork and characters. So yeah, I think that's a worthy kind
well,
of
I
endeavor
remember I
pursuit.
mm-hmm,
remember for a
mm-hmm,
routine for a while, Ken and I once every summer, Ken would say, "Hey, do you want to take me?" Because Ken never drove and doesn't have a car, so you'd say, "Do you want to take me to a comic shop?" Sure. We go to Kitchener, we go
oh
Waterloo, we
yeah,
go, Oshawa, and no joke. And
not
Chris is
Oshawa.
right. Sorry. Yeah, and Chris is right. Going to the comic shop with Ken will spend and go for every comic and every, in the bin individually. And next thing you know, 20 minutes later, he has a stack of books. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. Ken was not afraid to buy, if, I'm just giving an example, like, he'd buy He-Man comics, you know, or
And he read
Smurfs
them.
comics or something like that. Ken didn't care. It's like, oh, the cover looks cool. I'll buy it.
Yeah, and he read every single one of them. Like his
He
knowledge
did.
of stuff when he would be on
Yeah,
the show, it would be like, oh, oh no, that happened in issue 183. And you're like, how do you remember all of that?
yeah.
It's crazy.
And it wasn't He-Man, it was She-Ra.
Oh, probably. Yeah. No, but the thing was, and the thing is, for me, when I buy my comics, some of them are sitting there, which I haven't read for 6 months since I bought them. Ken would read them right away.
Yeah.
That's only
Yeah.
because you're so vain, Chatan. You just want a full bookcase behind you. That's all.
Yes, that's it.
He's just
Yes.
showing off with that bookcase.
It's
Yes.
all for
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
clicks.
We
Yeah.
all know that it's a photo, like it's a photo
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
It is. It is. No, but Ken was that's why Chris made give him the perfect name, Wednesday Warrior,
Yeah.
because he
So
bought everything.
was
And
the name specific, the Wednesday Warrior name, was that just about the segment or was it specifically for Ken, just out of curiosity?
I don't know how that came up, Chris.
Yeah, I think it was we came up with it. I think we've mentioned it. We mentioned the idea that people that go to comic book shops every Wednesday are these Wednesday warriors. And then I think that Ken just sort of, when he started coming on the show, was like, oh my God, he is the Wednesday warrior,
Yeah,
not a
exactly.
Wednesday warrior.
Exactly.
So
And
it was
Yeah.
like he's the
and
perfect
forget about
embodiment of
Ken's
it.
collection of comic books. You should see his collection of action figures.
Yeah.
I mean, his one room is no joke, full of action figures.
There's at least one or two times on the show where we'd be talking about a subject and we'd be talking about a toy or something. We go, oh, there's this Green Lantern action figure, and he'd just go like off to the side. Yep, there it
Yeah.
is.
And one picture I showed to Patrick yesterday about Ken's action figure, he had like every version of Captain America because he was a huge Captain America fan. So he had almost every action figure of Captain America.
Yeah.
Do you think that was his favorite superhero character?
Yeah,
Captain America?
Captain America was his favorite superhero.
Which is an odd thing when you look at a picture of the Cool Box cover with a gurney on it and a deep sort of dark thing, and then you think he was sitting there with the guy with the shield, all happy. It's an interesting contrast, which is actually probably more healthy than most.
Yeah.
Two sides of the same Ken.
So are you saying
Mhm.
that? Are you saying that Ken with all the horror stuff and all the metal stuff, and he goes home and watch Gilmore Girls?
Maybe.
I think
Multifaceted guy.
Did he, Chatan, did he keep his action figures boxed up or
No, Ken
no?
was old school. Ken was not a collector. I mean, Ken was not, what do you call it? He wasn't one of those collector types. This is going to go up in value. He was like, rip it open, put it on display.
Yeah.
Play with
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
the real
No,
reason.
Yeah.
honestly, he was a true collector. Even comics, he didn't care if it was bagged and board. It's like, you know what? Just open it, read it, enjoy it. Same thing with the
That's
action
what they're
figures.
for.
Yeah, but if you look at all his action figures, they're all opened,
Yeah. Yeah.
all of them.
Again, when he would pull them off, never a box.
Yeah, and that's why I have so much respect for him for that. He was a true fan, because
Yeah. Yeah, he
he
really
enjoyed
was.
it for what it was, not just because oh, in 6 months it could go up in value and I'll sell it. And Ken never sold any of his stuff.
Yeah. The
Wow.
one thing I will say is he hates the new, a lot of the new Marvel TV and the DC TV and movie stuff. He had
Yeah.
opinions on that. I
Yeah.
was like, this is awful. And I remember the Lanterns trailer, the first one came out, and he went off on that for a while.
Oh yeah, no, Ken and I talked about that. We had a long conversation about that one, and Ken's point of view is, again, he's a true geek because he wants,
Yeah.
it's like, you know what, Green Lantern should be this way, his costume should not be brown,
Ten. If I'm not mistaken, I was wearing a Green Lantern ring when I kicked your ass at the dance cave that one night.
That's what gave you power.
Yeah.
That may be the greatest sentence I've ever heard, actually.
No, but Ken, honestly, Ken was one of those guys that, yeah, on comic books and movies, like Chris mentioned, especially movies and stuff, Ken was the only one that, and not even comic books and music and stuff. He told me, he goes, I'm gonna go and see He-Man, the movie. Then he goes, I'm gonna see this movie. Whether it got bad reviews or not, Ken would still go and see it.
Yeah. He was one of the other reason why I thought he worked really well on the podcast was he'll complain about something, but then you're like, because he read it.
Yes. Yes.
It
exactly.
isn't just this, I heard on the internet this movie sucks. So like Supergirl, we were talking about the Supergirl movie.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, this is going to be dumb and everything. He goes, I'm going to see it on the opening day.
Yeah.
This is so,
Well, that's
at least,
the thing, right? We can find a redeeming quality in the most putrid or over commercialized or and that's, as creative people, I think that's kind of incumbent upon us to kind of find that nugget in whatever it may be.
But Ken overlooked a lot of that stuff and said, you know what? I'll make my own opinion on it, which is good, which is great because, like I said, for example, the Hulk comic, he said, I don't like it, but I still buy it because of the character,
What do critics know anyway?
Yeah, no, seriously, it's just one of those things. He'll watch things and tell me, oh, it was crap or it was good. And I'm like, I wouldn't spend the money on it to go and see it. I would just judge it before I see it, waste money on it.
I think
You're one of the bad eggs, Jatan.
Yes.
Yeah, we knew that already.
I think he had a certain level of fandom where he's sort of like, even if it's not the greatest thing, it's nice that they're making stuff in this genre that I love.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Now the thing with Green Lantern was, I think Ken just, not even before the trailer came out, Ken was ranting about Green Lantern, going, and I told him, I go, wait for the trailer, wait for the show and stuff. When the trailer came out, when they showed the costume, oh, he went on a huge rant about the costume.
Is this the Ryan Reynolds one?
No, the
way
new
back.
one.
Oh, the new one. Oh, okay.
New TV show that's coming out.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
And his
For
costume.
instance, I personally, because Nick Cage, I cannot even entertain looking at Spider Noir. Like,
No, that was a great show. That was a great show.
Sorry, Nicolas Cage is like.
No, he fits that character.
What I would say is that show is like the best and worst of Nicolas Cage at the same time.
Yes,
and that's what makes it good.
But it works. But it works. That's the thing.
Somehow it works. I mean, I was skeptical, but
yeah,
he's such a nepo baby.
One of the
no, but it's a good show, and Ken actually told me to watch it on that because I
Oh
was
yeah?
was first like you, where I was like, I'm not watching this show. It could be, it's not. Ken goes, no, watch it. Ken watch like Ken's one of those guys when he sits down, he'll watch all of them. You
I
know,
thought it would be something like Venom because of the
no,
noir nature,
no,
but no, it's film noir, I assume.
yes,
Yeah.
Kind of.
yes.
And they, you know what? They totally embrace it. Like they go for all the camera angles and the hard lighting. It's not like they just slap a black and white filter on and call it a day. Like they really put in the time to make it like
Watch the
look
first
like,
episode. Seriously,
yeah.
watch the first episode.
Watch it
And
in black and white.
I didn't watch it in black and white. I watched it in color.
I recommend black and white if you have
Yeah,
the
there's two
option.
Well,
versions of it.
I Sin City really did it for me back in the day, and that was obviously black and white with slaps of color here and there.
Mm,
At that was I remember that one being quite impactful.
yeah, in my mind, this was visually better than Sin City,
No kidding.
but in a different way. A
But no,
different way.
seriously,
It's more subtle.
watch the first episode. Yeah, and
Okay,
when
Chatan, I will, but I'm coming to you to get my money back
yeah,
if I don't like it.
He'll pay you back in beef patties at the Grange.
that's
There we go.
Paul. That's Paul. Mike never ate beef patties.
That's not true.
Okay, but Paul.
We have to wrap
Just
things up.
That is
We're running out
welcome,
of time.
everybody.
just we'd make
Oh,
fun.
did you say we're running out of time?
We're running out of time, but I thought maybe everybody could sort of, and any last memories we want to put out there? Anything we want to say?
I think,
We miss you, Ken.
yeah, true creative force, true miss his passion for comics and pop culture and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss, like Mike said, like he had a great laugh, and when he
mm,
found something really funny and amusing, he'd let you know. He did that with everything, right? He would let you know. He wasn't afraid of it.
yeah, yeah.
He
And
would be
even
quiet.
like Walrus Boy and whatnot, he would, always be laughing and smiling, and even with when it was at his expense, he would kind of maybe turn his head, but there would still be a smile on his face,
Yeah,
Yeah,
He
yeah.
never
He's
got
good
angry and said
natured.
no. That was the good part.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was up for anything.